Hi everyone, this is Boogast Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Star Wars The Black Series 6-inch Kylo Ren figure from Star Wars The Last Jedi. So before we take a look at Kylo, let's take a look at the accessories that he comes with. So before I start this review, I want to say today has been an awesome day just because Avengers Infinity War, the trailer, dropped today. And we've waited for it, we the fans have waited for it forever, and I can say it did not disappoint me, so definitely check that out. So, first off, Kylo has a removable cape here. It just kind of stays on his shoulders and in place because of his hair. It actually stays on pretty good. I didn't think it would, but it actually does. You can see this cape is a very soft kind of vinyl material. It looks really nice though. It's got a lot of wrinkles sculpted into it. And it actually has a texture too. It kind of has a... I'm not sure what kind of texture. Kind of like a leather texture to it. And it's really nice. I think there's supposed to be silver right here in between these lines. I'm not sure. On the fabric Kylo Ren, the Kylo Ren that comes with the fabric cape, there were supposed to be silver lines in the cape. But still, I think it looks pretty good. Before I put this back on him, I do want to show his other accessories first. He comes with his unignited lightsaber, which looks really nice. It's actually got a lot of sculpting detail to it, and a lot of paint detail too. It's got that silver on there. And it actually has holes right there for where the blades come out. And some of the lightsabers are just complete right there, but I think they should have that hole just to be completely accurate. On the bottom there, it has that red dot. And Kylo has a slit in his belt right here that you can pour it into. There's a little tab right there. Just pour it in like so. Now, it does stay on there for the most part. I won't say it stays on there perfectly. Like, if you get to posing the figure around, I noticed it fell off a lot. But I think that's really awesome, because the previous Kylo Ren, the one from The Force Awakens, did not have that. And I was really disappointed. I ended up just sticking the lightsaber under his belt. And up next, he comes with his ignited lightsaber. It looks really awesome. Yeah, there you can see it better. It's translucent too, which I really love. It looks really nice. And I will show it with this one. Here's the previous Kylo Ren lightsaber. Let me just get it in here. You can see this one's just cast in this kind of plastic, and it's not translucent or anything. I do like this new blade better. It's a lot darker too. I always thought this one was just way too bright. Like, it's just too bright to be a Sith lightsaber. But this one is really dark and translucent too, which I really love. And Kylo can hold this in his right hand pretty good. You can actually hear, if you listen, a little like clicking sound, because it fits in between his fingers so that it doesn't fall out. So let me put the cape back on so I can show how that goes. So you just tilt his head up like that, and then put the cape on, and then tilt it back. It's actually pretty simple. And it stays on, like I said, pretty good, because the hair is hard plastic and the hair keeps it in place. So for the head sculpt, hold on here, let me get the lightsaber out of his hand, that way I can show it. So the head sculpt, I think, looks like Adam Driver a lot. That is a really uncanny likeness of him. I think Hasbro did pretty good on the previous likeness of him, too. I think it was good. But one thing is, you can't tell his scar. Which way does it go? Yeah, this way. I was pointing to the wrong side. He has a scar that goes along his face and down his neck, where Rey slashed him at the end of The Force Awakens. And you can't even... It is sculpted in there. If you look, you can see it. But it's not painted on or anything. Like, it's supposed to be a fresh scar. So it should have, maybe some really dark red. But it doesn't, which looks really odd. I mean, you can't even really tell that he has a scar at all. So that does bother me a little bit, because that's kind of like one of his defining characteristics now. But the hair looks really nice. Like I said, it keeps that cape in place there. So, I noticed that this fell out while I was doing that. And like I said, it will fall out if you move it around very much. But if you just leave him kind of in one pose, it will stay there. that lightsaber. So he has a lot of sculpting going on his shirt and arms. His arms kind of look like they're wrapped. And this kind of reminds me of, I'm not sure what this reminds me of. Reminds me of something. Kind of feels scaly. It looks like it'd be uncomfortable to wear, honestly. But it sure has, well, his tunic, really, because it goes down here, too. His tunic has a lot of sculpting detail. Now, this is very soft, so you can, like Kylo, I got him in a kneeling pose, like in front of Supreme Leader Snoke's throne. You can actually get him in a kneeling pose with this tunic. I honestly thought that would restrict his articulation, but actually it doesn't. And this cape really doesn't either. It restricts his arms just a little bit. Like you can move his arms out like that, but you can't actually move them. Well, I suppose you can, but if you do that, then the cape is going to come off. But for the most part, it does stay on. I didn't really figure that I'd be a fan of this version of the toy because of this cape, but actually, it's really awesome. So I do like his boots, too, how it uses that gloss. I like whenever they use the gloss for the boots. It just makes them look a lot better. It makes them look more militaristic, I think. But one thing I noticed is if you have him standing the way he should be, like his legs are facing the right way, his feet kind of go out like that. Like they kind of point out. The right one points to the right and the left one points to the left. You kind of have to move his knees inward. Like that. Okay. Nope. I moved that one too far. So there you can see that he's standing the right way. I think it's honestly because of this ankle rocker. And then when you want it to be straight, that ankle rocker, you have to move his leg the way it should be. So honestly, I think it's just that ankle rocker. It's a little crooked on both of these that makes his feet kind of point out like that. I was going to say move, because it kind of makes him move odd too. So let's put this back in his hand and take the cape off for this for the articulation here. There, and I'll show the articulation with his. Or maybe I should just leave it on. Yeah, I'm being undecisive right at the moment. So for his articulation, I definitely want to show it with the cape on, just because, just to show how much articulation you can get out of it with this cape. So he's got a ball-jointed head that is currently looking back as far as it goes. It really can't move any farther back just because of that cape and his back. So you really can't move it back any farther with the cape off as well. He can look all the way down, move his head side to side. He's got ball-jointed shoulders that can move out this far with the cape on, which is still, now this lightsaber's wanting to come out of his hand, which is still pretty far. Without the cape, you do get a little more. I just wanted to show the articulation, like the main points that I thought would be restricted. He can kick back all the way. You can see that. And he can move his hips out all the way with that cape on. You can move the ball-jointed diaphragm all the way with the cape on. The only thing you really can't do with the cape on is get the shoulders to move out all the way like that. There. So now I'll go over the full articulation. So he's got ball-jointed shoulders that can move out all the way without the cape on. He's got a single-jointed elbow that actually can move out pretty far. It's pretty much like a double-jointed elbow. And he's got a swivel with the wrist that can move side to side and up and down like a roll of the dice movement. And since he has that, you can actually get him in a two-handed pose with his lightsaber, which I really love. That looks really nice. He's got a ball-jointed diaphragm that can move back all the way and move down all the way. And it can move side to side. He's got ball-jointed hips that can move out that far. He can kick forward all the way. He can kick back all the way. He's got a swivel at the thigh, double-jointed knee, a swivel at the ankle, and an ankle rocker. Now, this is what I was talking about. Like, if you have his knee kind of pointed the way it should be, like his ankle doesn't move the way it should. I think, honestly, it's just the peg right here. The peg that goes into the ankle. That ankle rocker right there. Say that 5 times fast. I think that's just warped just a little bit. So, overall, I think this figure is really awesome. And let's see if the head you can change it with this previous Kylo Ren to give him that masked look before we do any comparisons. Let's see. It doesn't really come off that hard, which is good. I wasn't going to try if it was very hard. Let's see here. I thought one went a lot easier than I thought it would. So that does fit. So honestly, you wouldn't even need to get that exclusive one. If you have both of these, you can just switch the heads out and save $20. So that's really awesome. Let's put that back on. There. So let's put that back on before we go on to the size comparisons. So here Kylo is next to the previous version of him. This was the battle on Starkiller Base, as you can see from the snowy robes. And leave a comment below and tell me, which of these two looks do you like the most? I honestly like his new look. I think it's sleek. I think it improves upon this one. Plus, he doesn't have that ugly, tattered cape. He actually has a full cape. If you have a full cape, you're just instantly awesome in my book. And here he is next to Rey. I still need to get the Last Jedi version of her. It's been difficult finding all of these figures in my area. And I got him on sale, and I'm really glad I did, because let's see, he's not standing now. That ankle rocker is what's making him not stand. There. But I got him on sale, and I'm surprised. I really like this figure. I didn't think I would because of the tunic and the robe, or the cape. But they're very soft and pliable, and doesn't restrict the articulation at all. Like, you can see that you can get him in this kind of a pose with the cape on. And he is a lot taller than Rey, which is pretty accurate, because Adam Driver is a very tall actor. But he's not as tall as Supreme Leader Snoke, which I'm going to show you right now. There he is, next to his master, Supreme Leader Snoke. You can see that Snoke is quite taller than Kylo. These look awesome together. If you follow me on the Syndicate or any of my groups on Facebook, then you'll know that I did a picture with these two, and they look really awesome together. So, yeah, I would highly recommend this figure, because I wasn't sure I'd be a fan of it. I mean, I knew I would like it, but I wasn't sure because I thought the cape was hard, and I didn't think it'd be able to stay on. But as long as you have his head tilted back like that, and you don't move his arms out all the way, because that'll just make the cape fly off in the back. But as long as you kind of keep him like this, it will stay on perfectly. So I would highly recommend this figure. It is really awesome. So that's my review. And if you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.